The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 8. It's a very, very boring episode this week. Not saying nothing happened this week. It wasn't necessarily pointless, but it was just very boring. Just a quick 20 whatever minute episode. Nothing a whole lot. Like last week's 2 episode thing was probably the biggest arc we've really had this season so far. So, we got to jump back into another, I'm not going to say filler, just another Bad Batch basic episode, I guess you could say. But we're picking back up from that. They're trying to figure out why Omega is so important with the M count stuff. The Bad Batch contacts our good friend Fee. You remember Fee from season 2? Greatest character in all of Star Wars, probably. I'm so glad we get to see her again. She's probably the greatest creation out of Disney Star Wars. I cannot believe we got to see her again. We get to be in her presence, at least with the hologram. Fantastic. I'm so glad we're now contacting with another Sid, basically, at this point. And they leave Omega behind because Hunter and Wrecker are going to go and talk to Fennec Shand. And Fennec Shand is going to be hopefully the one that can tell them more about these bounties that are going out and figuring out what's going on with the M count stuff. And they want to figure out the M count thing with Omega. So they're gonna go talk to Fennec Shand and see if she knows anything about these bounties that are going out. That's where we're going. So we go to this big space station facility. It's like a city almost when they go inside of it. And they meet up with Fennec Shand in a bar. She's talking to some Rhodian. They kick him out. They talk to her a little bit, and they come up to this agreement that she wants to get this bounty of this random person, this random insect dude, and she wants to get this bounty for him. And if Hunter and Wrecker help her with this bounty, she will tell them all that she knows about this M count bounty stuff. So it's like a trade. It's literally just you do this for me, I'll give you this information. This has been the most basic formula for this show for a while. Not even just this show, for even Mandalorian and all these different shows. It's a very basic formula. You help me with this, I'll help you do this, and I'll get you this information, whatever. It's whatever. So they're going to go on a mission. They're going to go collect a bounty for Fennec Shand. Apparently this guy's been quite hard to acquire for her. So there's a little bit of a side story, just a slight one with Crosshair and Omega. They're the ones that are left behind on the island. And they're trying to figure out with Crosshair's hand and what they did to him. They can't figure out anything actually physical that they did to him. So they come to the conclusion that whatever's going on with Crosshair is more mental. So they did something to his mind. It's kind of what you can expect when they're doing all this testing on him and stuff. They really mess with his mind. You could tell they did. I mean, they already have the chips and stuff, so you really know they're messing with their minds a lot, these clones. So whatever's going on with his hand, it probably is more a mental thing, and he needs to come to terms with what necessarily happened. And I guess we don't really know all of what happened with all the testing when he was there in Tantus. We don't know what they did to him. Maybe we'll get that at some point, but it's kind of that part of the episode there. They're literally just trying to figure out how to help his hand. So they go on the mission. Fennec shows them the hologram of the bug guy. They're going to go after him in this big swamp. They go out on a boat, and they're helping Fennec, Crosshair, and Omega. They're trying to figure out what's going on with his hand still. They determine that maybe this is not a physical thing. We cannot deal with this physically. Maybe this is something that can help you with Crosshair mentally. So, of course, Omega is going to be the one to help out and figure everything out for them again, because that's usually how this show goes. Wrecker, Hunter, and Fennec fight off a bunch of alligators in this big swamp. Big alligators. They fight them off, so that's more monsters for the Bad Batch to fight off, more creatures. They're good at that as well. We do get a quick conversation with Fennec Shand and Hunter and Wrecker. She's kind of wondering what's going on with Omega. Why are you so interested in this M count thing, and what happened to Omega after our initial encounter? You know how Fennec tried to capture Omega early in season 1. She's now okay, what happened between that? What's going on? Well, how did you even lose her? And what's going on with the M count thing? Why is she so important? So the M count thing is stupid, by the way. I wish they would just say midichlorian, because it's clearly what they're doing. They're literally using the midichlorian storyline, the whole concept of them, and they're not using the name. It almost seems like they're building up to figuring out what M count means, though. So I'm assuming at some point we may hear the word midichlorian. I don't know how much it's been uttered since the prequels, actually. I don't know how much they've strayed away from saying midichlorians, because I know it's been controversial, but I don't really have an issue with it. It's okay for me. I don't really care if they use that that concept in Star Wars. I mean, it was in the prequels. I like the prequels, and I think it was okay. It was fine. So I'm just curious on when they're actually going to say the freaking word, because it sounds really stupid when they say M count, because we all know what it means. We all know what it means. So, let's go over this quickly. They captured the stupid bug guy. It's all a very, very dark scene. I could hardly see a damn thing. And I had the room like dark watching it too. And I could hardly see a damn thing on the screen. I don't know why they made it so dark. It's very, very hard to see what's going on in the scene. You got a few silhouettes every now and then, but it's a very dark swamp area there in like the nighttime. They capture him though, and then we enter the next scene with Crosshair and Omega. She decides to get Crosshair meditating. So she thinks meditating might help him out. We don't really see if there's a result of the meditation with Crosshair. Maybe that'll continue next week, but that is what she starts to try and help him with, and that's the stupid dog is with him as well. But that is something that is now going on with Crosshair, and Crosshair is really starting to become more mellow and calm with the group now. He's not all brash, and he is brash in his own way, but he's coming more to terms with being part of the group again and being with them, and I think that's good. I do like that journey with Crosshair. The episode ends very pointlessly almost, where it's like Hunter and Wrecker help Fennec. They get the guy. It was pretty basic. Well done. They got him. And then she says, oh yeah, I don't have the information for you. I'll go get it though. Don't worry. I'll come back. I'll go get it for you. And I'll come back and tell you everything about the M-Count bounties, and I'll tell you. So of course we don't learn anything about that this episode. They're going to make us wait another however long to find that out. The only real big piece of information that we got teased at the end was that Ventress is going to be coming in maybe the next episode. It's quite clear that they teased Ventress there. I think it was her music playing at the end when Fennec contacted somebody saying, I just talked with some clones and they're looking into M-Count bounties. What do you know about this? I'll, go help them find them. I don't know if she's going to send them towards the clones or figure out what's going on with the M-Count stuff. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with Ventress. But I think it was pretty clear that they teased Ventress is going to be coming into the episodes real soon. We already know she is. She was in the trailers, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I from what I hear, Ventress is supposed to be dead. I didn't read the book that she died in, but I hear that she's supposed to be dead at this point. So that's another retcon. Dave Filoni's good at that. He's good at retconning any books and stuff. That's been well known at this point, so it's not really that surprising. I personally don't care. Like, whatever, she can come in. Like, we'll see what happens. But for people who maybe like that story, maybe that's upsetting. But I do believe we're going to see Ventress. And I don't know how well they're going to explain it. Maybe they're going to tie it into that book somehow. I don't know. I don't know anything about the book. But I hear it was okay. But yeah, she is coming back into Star Wars real soon. And we'll see what they do with her. But there wasn't really much this week. There really wasn't. They helped Fennec get a bounty. She really didn't have information for them, and she still has to get it. And Crosshair is meditating. That's it. That's the episode. And I probably explained it even more than I thought I would going into the review here. It's just very basic Bad Batch episode. It was okay. It was fine. Nothing too surprising anymore. And we'll just go on to the next episode, and then continuing the journey. And I mean, the Bad Batch, it's been fine. It's not been terrible. But there's been some very bland episodes. It's not been the Clone Wars sequel, as I always say, that it, initially seemed it could be. But it's been fine. And the one character I really care about following at this point is Crosshair. So we'll see what goes on with him. But yeah, Asajj Ventress is making her return maybe next week.